Peace and much love, and welcome back to the Awakened Dreamer Summit here with Dream Council. I have the honor of being here with Adrian Lobo today to talk about dreams and in dance and embodiment. So I'm super excited to talk with you today, Adrian. Welcome.
It's an honor to be here. Hello, hello.
Hello. So I've been opening up each interview with the same question, and it's a deep question and something, to think about. But I wonder for you, why do you feel that dreaming is important? Why do you feel that dreaming is important also for our waking life?
Beautiful question. I think this question has many layers to it. I feel dreams have a lot of layers to them as well. I think on the most basic practical level, I believe dreams help us process our experience of life through the daily routine of life or the emotions of life or the scenarios and situations that we go through in life. I feel like dreams are a very beautiful artistic way to give us messages, to process emotions, to process thoughts, and the like. And then on a deeper level, there's many levels to dreams. We have like our regular dreams, which can just be, records of different days all mashed together in one experience, which can be sometimes very confusing and very cryptic. And I think dreams are very cryptic. They take a deep sense of intuition and connection with yourself in order to truly interpret, what these messages are for us. And then we have dreams that are on a much deeper level, that are talking on a multi-dimensional level. Some of these dreams I feel are here to help awaken us, to accelerate our evolution through life. I've had dreams of past life memories or future parallel life memories, or dreams of spirit guides, or dreams of other people's spirit guides or other people's spirits. And every single time, it's always an activation for me when I wake up from these dreams. And sometimes the message is super clear, super like right in my face, like this is what needs to be heard. And other times it's not so clear. It's very confusing, very cryptic, very abstract. And whether we can interpret them or not, I feel by just experiencing those dreams, we're being activated on a deep level.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's so clear and so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that. It is a deep question, and I feel like you really just landed with it really, really beautifully. So thank you for that.
Can I add to that really quick too?
Yeah, yeah.
And then just to go even further, then we have lucid dreams, which I know you're aware of. And I feel like lucid dreams are like our avatar superhero training, where we learn that we can become masters of this quote unquote holographic reality. Whenever I have a lucid dream, and it's few and far between, sometimes I have them a lot, and sometimes I go months without them. So I'm still working on that. But when it does happen, I immediately take that opportunity to play with my consciousness, to create worlds, to manipulate energy, to like activate any superpower that my imagination can conjure up. And I will use that in the lucid dream. And it's amazing. It's incredible. And sometimes I wake up from that feeling as if my body really did that, because our body doesn't recognize what's the real life and what's the dream life. Our cells, our consciousness is affected by those experiences, whether we believe dreams are a real thing or not. To me, I feel like they are in some level. And if we can master our consciousness state through lucid dreams and activate the superpowers in those lucid dreams, I feel we'll start to activate the superpowers in this dream, in this wake collective reality. So those are my little 2 cents right there in the tail end of that question.
Yeah, that was like two, at least $2. Yeah, for real. And yeah, I just wonder, like, for you, how do you feel like you are able to weave your waking or your sleeping dream experiences, your lucid dream experiences into your waking life? Like, how do you feel that you're able to bridge those worlds here in the waking world?
There's a couple of ways. It depends on what I want to bring through and how it's being presented in the dreams. For example, sometimes I have dreams of symbols or an animal totem or an animal totem with a symbol on it. And I'm also an artist. I love to draw. So a few times I've drawn those animal totems or symbols in my sketchbook. And I use that as a type of yantra, which is like a meditative image. And I will imagine that image either throughout my day or just randomly, or maybe it's an intentional moment. And I feel whatever that symbol is, the power of that symbol, whatever it's calling upon, I can draw upon that power and that ability through the visualization of that symbol.
Mm.
And then in other times, if it's not a visual message, maybe it's a more an emotional message. Whatever emotion that I felt in my dream, especially in those lucid dreams where I activated my powers or was feeling something amazing, I will anchor that emotion in my body.
Oh, it looks like here we are.
Oh, did you have?
Having a little bit of technical stuff, but I am gonna hang tough.
No worries. Can you still hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay. Well, yeah, just to wrap up my thought, I feel like remembering the emotions that was brought up in those dreams,
Mm,
especially if they're empowering ones, to remember that state in our waking life and channel what we experience in dream life into
mm-hmm,
this waking state.
mm. Yeah, I hear you. It's so true. Like the symbols and the images that come through our dreams become so vital in this waking world, and they're so amazing to follow and to create art with, whether that's visual art or painting of some kind, or sculpting, or even the colors that we wear, the foods that we choose to eat. It's like this information that's coming from the dream time, whatever information I tend to follow, it has so much vitality and life force here in the waking world. And then I'm also hearing just the emotional landscape of dreams, like those things that maybe are less physical or literal or logical. Sometimes we might wake up with not a lot of symbols in our memory, but a feeling that we follow. And they can be reference points also for oh, I remember I felt this way, whether that's a feeling of bliss and joy that we're wanting to reach and cultivate here, or it could be pain and suffering that is a reference point for, oh, when I do this, it reminds me of the fear that I felt in my dream or the pain I felt in my dream. So it feels like
Mm.
amazing ways, sort of as a reference library of our own soul's experience, to refer to and sort of check out records from and bring here into the waking world. And so much of the most amazing inventors and artists in our history were active dreamers and really brought through dream visions into reality, or reality, so to speak. Waking,
Yeah.
right? Um, so, and I'd love to talk with you about dance a little bit too, as far as just an art form, because I know that
Mm.
I've just witnessed your dance and it's just so magical. And I wonder, have you ever experimented with or brought in the feelings, the emotions, or certain animals or symbols into your dance practice from dreams?
Yeah, totally. Not a lot, but there have been some dreams where, um, actually, no, I take that back. It's very common for me to dream about dancing because, I live it. It's my passion. I do it almost every day. So naturally, I'm also dancing in my dreams. But in my dreams, it's like a whole nother level. I'm usually doing movements that are like next level, dimensional, super powerful, supernatural dance abilities.
They're pretty supernatural here from what I've seen.
Yeah. I try my best to bridge, those visionary states that I have in dreams back into reality, into this collective dreamality.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and sometimes I even have visions of entities or goddesses or gods dancing for me and giving me codes, giving me these movement codes. They're trying to speak to me through, and my DNA, just receives it, and my waking body will unlock that. And it's not all the time through my logical mind. Mostly it's through my intuitive mind, when I'm just simply fully in the music, fully in the dance, surrendering into my heart and moving from my heart. That's when I find that I truly unlock those downloads, those codes that come through the dream state.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, like, for people who are watching this later on in the future and maybe are new to dance or new to body movement, what would you recommend for people who are just getting started and want to sort of bridge in their dream life into the practice and the art of dance?
That's a good question. I think always, the most basic answer to that is just put on some music and dance. It's as simple as that. And being comfortable with that, especially for those who are new and haven't really had that as a practice. I highly recommend that you just like you approach yoga or approach meditation or approach exercising, that practice we all do to just unwind, or maybe something you do as a bad habit. We all have something we do to help us unwind from the stresses of life. And I find dance is one of the greatest practices we can do, because we can get up, we move our bodies in this crazy sedentary Western lifestyle of a world. I think it's the great antidote for the Western lifestyle. And just putting on that music and just letting yourself move, and don't judge thyself. Close your eyes, go into your body, let yourself go.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you do this, the more you'll start to dance in your dream life. And in your dream life, your dream dance can be a prayer. When you dance in your dreams, that could be a form of release, a form of healing, a form of activation. Because when we dance in our dreams, that's where our consciousness, our spirit is dancing in the astral realm, or in our dream realm, in our inner realm.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that, the more you dance, the more your dreams will become activated with movement, and vice versa. If you're having dreams of movement, if you're having dreams of dance, that could be a message for you, for those listening, to start doing that as well and incorporating that in your daily life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great advice. It's not like I think we're taught sometimes in Western culture to learn choreography, or like this is the right way to dance and this is the wrong way to dance. And when we free our bodies and allow our bodies to move how they wish, it's symbolic of something too, as far as the way we free our soul to be able to move as well, and be in this form, and allow it to enjoy being in form. And then as we do that, it mirrors into the dream time, and we find that perhaps we are dancing more in our dreams, and vice versa. If we're dancing in our dreams, it might be a sign to bring those movements back into waking reality, and also share those movements with others for healing, or teach those movements to others for healing as well.
Yeah. And another addition to this, I just had this insight right now. When we dance, we are radiating the fingerprint of our soul, especially for dancing from our heart. And through my journey of my spiritual evolution, and for all people on the path of awakening, we have to go through the darkness. We have to go through the shadow realms in order, to find that true treasure of light within. And when we're in the shadow, sometimes we encounter fear. And this fear can be manifested as an entity or your own shadow beast, especially within dreams. Sometimes we have nightmares of being chased by something dark, or being haunted by something, or even in waking life, people see ghosts or see spirits or have visions of that. Or maybe it's just an internal fear of feeling it in the body. And what I wanted to say was that dance is a super powerful antidote for fear in all its shapes and forms. Whether it's a fear in your own body, like start to move your body when you're afraid. And I guarantee, the blood will move from your brain and circulate through your body, and the energy of your body, and you'll feel more grounded, you feel more centered, and you feel a sense of empowerment. There were times when in my journey work, I was encountered by these very dark spirits. Some people will call them demonic spirits. And in those moments when I was afraid, I wouldn't let it get into my mind. And what I would do is I would just start to dance. And when I danced, I felt like I was expressing my God spark. And it made me feel empowered. And I danced to those dark forces. I danced to those shadow entities. And I found that it always, always dispersed it. It went away, or I felt able to stand with it in confidence and balance and not be so swayed by fear. So I know that the people watching this are probably very in tune with the spirit realms, especially if they're already dreaming. And if you're in tune with the spirit realm and you already have that empathic gift, a sensitivity, you already encountered the shadow forces, or what we call, whatever they are. And I highly recommend that if that happens to you and you're afraid, start to dance. Tune into your body, express your fingerprint of your soul, and there you will find your light, and you will find your empowerment, and you'll be protected, you'll be safe, and you'll be able to navigate through any shadow realms.
Indeed, it's so true. And something about how we store our fear, or we store negative emotions or trauma in the body, and how somatic movement therapy can be so healing for healing past traumas also that might surface in the dream time. And how healing it is to just bring movement to that which feels stuck or held in the body, and allowing that to express itself through movement. And we actually have a blog on our website called Dream Dance Therapy that's about that. And
Oh,
about,
really?
yeah, and it's about, if you, let's say, you dream that you're being chased by a tiger, you begin by moving your body like you're being chased by the tiger, and you feel in your body where you might be storing your fear. Different people will do different things when they're afraid, like shoulders might get tight, or maybe the knees come up or the hips lock. So you begin with the movement of the fear itself, and then start moving out of that, start noticing what the body wants to do to counter that fear. Then it may become that you end up becoming the tiger, and you start to chase yourself.
Yes.
Act out the dreams, whether it's a nightmare or not a nightmare dream, but actually act out the story through our movements. And by doing that, it creates this somatic record in the body, and also gives us that chance to move. I feel like so helpful, like with anger, like anger gets stored in the body and becomes disease, but when it's able to move and express itself in a healthy form, it tends to be able to speak what limits are needing to be set, or what boundaries are needing to be set, and then it's no longer a harmful energy anymore. It becomes actually an ally. So that's nightmare work, is so much about seeing what was once adversarial can actually become helpful, or there can be a gift within that wound when we learn how to face our fears and move with them, and show up for them in that way. So yeah, I feel that. That's awesome. Great advice.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wonder if you have any dream stories in particularly you'd like to share with our viewers. Like, have there been any dream experiences you've had that have really stood out to you in life, or that remind you of this theme of, a dream that you've had where you were able to bring its medicine into waking life and really benefited from it.
Wow. I have plenty of dreams. In fact, you know, I am a dream astronaut. I feel like there's a word for this, onironaut. I think that's the word. And ever since I was a child that I can remember my dreams, I've always been a very powerful, clear dreamer. And but my dreams are so detailed. They're like entire movies, entire lifetimes. And to to start with a dream that I can think of right now. Wow, there is this one dream. I feel like it's one of my most significant dreams, and it's very long. So I won't say the whole thing. I'll probably give a Spark Notes version of it.
Mhm.
But in this dream, I was not me. I was actually in a woman's body. Okay.
Okay, so picking up where we left off because we had a little technical glitch, but last thing you were found yourself in a woman's body.
Yes, I know, right? I was like, yeah, when I woke up from this dream, I was like, whoa, what? So, most people dream, that they're themselves, right? But this dream, which is one of the most powerful dreams I've ever had in my life, and still to this day, I think about it sometimes. Um, so I had this dream, and the first thing I noticed was I was in a body of a 19-year-old young woman, and we were with friends, and we were standing in a circle, and we were going to play this game. We had this board game that we were about to play. And it was kind of like the theme of that movie called Jumanji, where they like open this board game and it like totally transforms their reality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what happened. We opened this game, and right when we opened it, we released this spirit that was imprisoned in this game for thousands of years. And it turned out to be this dark wizard. He was laughing, ha ha ha, you released me. And when that happened, everything went into a flash of light. And next thing I know, I'm standing in the middle of a street and I look around and all of reality has been altered. I was standing in like the street where I grew up on, except there was some very strange glitches in the reality. There was these rips and tears in the dimension. The sky was looking this trippy color. There was these strange dark towers everywhere, and there was like monsters running in the street. And I was like, "Whoa, what's happening?" And I came to realize that we released this dark wizard, and this wizard had started to mess with the dimensions, and out was come pouring these creatures from other dimensions and bringing chaos and havoc to our dimension. And so I go on this adventure, this crazy long journey through the dream where I try to find my friends and I can't find them. And I go through this hero's journey of where I have to somehow defeat this evil wizard. And I went on this journey to find these artifacts. And they're like these golden artifacts I had to collect through the dream. And I started to obtain certain powers with each artifact. And at the end level of the dream, I encountered the wizard. And plot twist, the wizard turned out to be my father. And it was like this crazy, hilarious, like plot twist where I had a vision of like my mother and how this wizard killed my mother, but my mother saved me. And here I am, about to defeat this wizard. And this dark wizard, like, stops me and tells me the truth and is asking me to join him. He's like, join me and we can help, rule these dimensions together.
Oh no.
And I was like, what? And he also threatened me too. And he says, but if you don't, then you will be destroyed. And he exhibited his power of the dimension and summoned this giant leviathan, and it started destroying everything around it. And I looked at it, and then I looked at him, and I was filled with so much power in that moment. I was filled with so much strength, and I just immediately uh, charged towards the wizard, and we clashed in this epic final moment where everything just slowed down, and he was about to touch my heart and grab it, and I was just about to touch his third eye, and I did at the last second. Right when I did, everything started hurricaning and tornadoing around me, and like the edge of a book being ripped by its side, all of reality was being torn apart, and it surrounded the wizard, and he was screaming, and it all like flew into his body. And as the hurricane of energy started to subside, I noticed that I was standing back in that room, back with my friends, and we were all around that table again. And it sealed everything back into the little statue figuring of a wizard. And it dropped into the board game, and we closed it. And we looked around and we're like, I don't think we're going to play this ever again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I skipped on a lot of details. Like there was other characters. I had to defeat these sorceresses. I had to um, learn these powers where I summoned different spirit animals and beings to fight along my side. It was amazing, you know. And I woke up from that covered in sweat, and I was like shocked. You know, I felt like I had lived a whole lifetime. And like, what is that? You know, like that just doesn't happen to everyone. Like those dreams, maybe they do, but like a dream like that is not an ordinary dream, you know?
That's a
There's something more to it. And, you know, what I got from that was that I intuitively felt that like I was both the girl and the wizard. And I felt like there was just like different aspects of me. And I think in that time of my life, I was going through a deep integration of my shadow. I was going through a lot of emotions. I was going through a breakup. I was going through a test of my integrity and a test of my own, you know, shadow. And when that dream came to me and manifested through this magical adventure, this movie, this epoch of a story of a girl defeating a wizard. And I thought that was such a beautiful illustration that my higher self gave to me to teach me that even the shadow can appear to be so powerful, but in the end, it's you. And in the end, we are the wizards who can create our reality. But sometimes we have to defeat the dark wizard first before we get that philosopher's stone.
That's right. That's a beautiful moral of the story. And I love how you bring in, you know, that these various characters that we experience in our dream time are representative of aspects of our own psyche that are relating with one another. And while sometimes we are in visitation also with beings, sometimes when we are interacting with these various characters and archetypes, they're showing us an aspect of our psyche also that we might feel separate from or feel fraction from, that we're integrating back into our wholeness and feeling what our relationship is with shadow, with darkness, with you know, quote unquote evil. Or so it's amazing. I mean, that could be a whole film, like really amazing.
I know, right? And
Or
I have several of these types of
something.
stories. It's crazy. I don't know, you know, why I have these kind of dreams, but they happen. And I just record them, and you know, it's amazing. You know, dreaming is amazing. And if we just bring more awareness to it, we can have some of the greatest adventures our consciousness can experience.
We really do, and it's real magic. You know, it's we're really getting to have these experiences. Like the average human being dreams for about 20 years of our lifetime.
Oh, wow.
That's a
I didn't know
long
that.
time to be there.
That's amazing.
we have so many amazing magical experiences. You know, we ride dragons and we become mermaids and we travel back in time and we meet with ancestors and we get to, you know, battle wizards and you know, and it's something that I feel really passionate about, bringing creating a forum and a container to bring these stories to our community as our mythology, as part of our collective mythology, is these dream stories we experience, and to find the healing, the medicine that comes from, like, how by you sharing your story with all of us, like, we may relate to some of these characters in our own life experience and find
Hmm.
medicine in it. And I feel that that's part of the function of dreams, actually, is to come together in council and to share these stories as medicine for our people and
Yes.
the myths of our people. And I have a feeling these ancient myths probably did at some time come from the dream time and personal experiences in the
Mm.
time with beings, entities, deities, and in ancient India, in the Indian philosophy of dreaming, there's a belief that we can live many, many lifetimes in one dream. We can live a whole lifetime in one night,
Hmm.
and
I
they
agree.
practice a lot of um, time travel in that way, of actually invoking and bringing in these lifetimes, and living
Wow.
them out, and then bringing the lessons of those lifetimes, the review of that whole lifetime here into this waking life, to cultivate wisdom and cultivate teachings to bring forth to the community. So it feels like that energy.
Yeah, I love what you say about having a dream council and how you created the dream council for people to share. I remember reading stories of these ancient tribes who would practice this, and the first thing in the morning, they would have the dream fire where they would wake up, have this little fire in the morning, and they would all sit around it, and everyone would share their dreams. And to me, I feel like this is such a powerful way to communicate what's happening to us on a collective level.
Mm-hmm.
And because when we do this, we can find that some of our dreams are similar, some of our dreams have similar themes, stories,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a message of the spirit world coming back to us and telling us like what's happening to us on a collective level. And I feel like we need more of this. So thank you so much, sister, for creating the Dream Council and sparking this movement. And I'm with you on it. And let's get more dreamers to come together and share our stories.
Yes, yes. Thank you. And it's such an honor and a pleasure. And I feel like we're really picking up where our ancestors left off. And we're continuing these age old traditions into the future, um, and restoking some of those dream fires in the morning, you know, to wake
Yeah,
and share that and encourage the telling of dreams. You know, sometimes in childhood we're told, oh, it was just a dream. You know,
totally.
not just a dream. It's, you know, there's a lot there, and it brings us together, no matter who you are, where you're from. You know, everyone dreams, whether we remember it or not is a different story, but everyone dreams. So it connects us together in this beautiful way. And instead of, like, we can say, like, oh, I'm going through a breakup and I'm having a hard time and I'm battling this in my life. But when we share these stories, these symbolic stories, and we bring in these archetypal energies into the sharing of our inner experience, it brings this really creative, amazing, colorful way to share what we're going through in a very deep level.
Hmm.
Held space for that too, which is, I've found, really healing in our council, is to just coming and sharing an inner experience like this feels really healing. You know, to be
Yeah.
seen and heard for something we go through inside. And so that's one way that we bring these, that's part of how we apply these dreams into waking life to support our community, is
Mm.
simply tell the story with our loved ones, you know, and ask our loved ones, hey, did you have a dream last night? Do you remember what happened?
Yeah,
It's
I love asking my loved ones that. That's like the first thing I ask when I see people in the day.
uh-huh. That's great. Well, I appreciate your time and energy here. And
Mm.
I would love to be able to also just share with our viewers ways that they can get in touch with you or connect more with your work, with your dance. Like, what are you up to, and how can we connect with you further from here?
Awesome. Well, yeah, I would love to share that. Well, I am on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. You guys can find me, Adrian Lobo. Just type that in the search and you'll find me. And if you are interested in movement or dance or energy and fusing the two, especially if you want that to be a form of spiritual practice, I offer that, and I'm working on creating an online dance class for people to start their journey and give them some fundamentals to work with because I love dance and I love movement and I love telling stories through movement. I love creating magic through movement, and anyone can learn this. So if you've seen my videos and you've seen the way I move and how I move energy, I would love to help you and anyone else out there who wants to do that, especially through the street styles of the underground hip hop, funk, and electronic dance cultures, which is where I come from.
Mhm.
I came from that underground hip hop world. I grew up in LA. I grew up in that hip hop street community. And as I was growing up in that in my dance, I also experienced a spiritual awakening where I was tuning into energy. I was meditating. I was feeling spirit. And this was after I kind of went through a dark phase in high school where I kind of abandoned spirituality. I was very emo and just stressed of life and apathetic. But when I was 17, I something in me unlocked, and I started sensing energy and started studying all these different spiritual traditions, remembering my dreams more. And through my journey, I have learned to help cultivate a unique approach to dance that utilizes the techniques of the street dance styles fused with the philosophies of various ancient spiritual traditions so that it bridges the ancient and the future into a unique art form. And I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited about launching this to the world and talking about this more. So for anyone out there who feels called to this, hit me up and let's dance.
Let's do it. Sign me up. I'm ready.
Uh. And then we'll have dance dreams, ciphers,
Yeah.
and dream in the new earth.
That's right. Oh, well, thank you so much again, Adrian Lobo. Much love to you.
Much love.
Okay, there it is.